everybody had a wonderful Thanksgiving.
It's okay.
I've got just a couple announcements to go over before we get started. I don't know if everybody heard me. Sorry for the change of date this month. There was a wedding reception and they were more important than we were, and I understand that. So they moved us to the 30th. That wasn't the issue. So Mike's got the new membership forms for the state association at the back table. And probably got some.
If you go online, that's even better. That gets me out of the loop. And you can sit there and fill out everything the way you want.
There you go. So it's online this year. The website's been updated. If you've been on the State Beekeepers website recently, it's been updated. It's a lot more user-friendly. Been on the site. 50-50, as always, at the back and door prizes. And also there's a third bucket beside the laptop. That's a free drawing for the old club laptop. So if you're interested in a laptop, put your name in and we'll draw it this evening at the end of the meeting. So we're going to move along. I apologize for being late. I was late getting off work tonight, so I apologize for getting started late. So Cynthia, is she here? Cynthia Robinson has got the program tonight, Beekeeping for Your Health. Okay. Sorry. Again, Cynthia Robinson is having the program tonight. She's got a table at the back, and will you be here after the meeting to talk to everyone?
I will.
Okay, great. So I'm going to turn it over to Cynthia.
Hey, everybody. You know what? I need my papers. Hey, I'm Cynthia Robinson. I'm the beekeeper on duty. And hey, I'm Cynthia Robinson, and I am the beekeeper on duty. And I'm glad to be here. This is Cabarrus County. I hit it big time. I really respect Cabarrus County. I don't care what y'all think about Cabarrus County, but I love you guys. You do it right. You do everything, well, I'm not saying you do everything right. Nobody does everything right, but y'all put on good programs, very thorough, very organized, and I appreciate that. I am from South Carolina. I used to be the South Carolina Beekeepers Association secretary, and I enjoyed doing that. I enjoyed being a part of that. And but now I am a professional. I call myself a professional beekeeper, and that puts everybody like, what? You keep bees? I mean, half the population don't even know that that's a thing. But now, the other half says, then the next question is, what? Have you got stung? And then the next question is, I heard the bees are in decline. And so there's that conversation. So I started beekeeping 13 years ago, almost 14 years ago, and I am a Journeyman Beekeeper and certified in the state of South Carolina. And I am an Uber driver. I do Uber. And don't call me to Uber because I'm not coming all the way up here to pick you up unless you're going back to Clover. That's where I live, in Clover, South Carolina. I am married. I have 3 grandkids. I have 2 grown sons. And that's fun. That's another fun part of my life. Right now, I have a temporary job, and I work for Samaritan's Purse packing shoe boxes. Have y'all heard that? And it's a lot of fun, and that's what I've been doing today. So if I drift off, because I am very tired, but it's okay. I'll come back. So I do have handouts today. Shannon, my helper, I just love her. I don't even know her, and I love her. You can go ahead and get these, Shannon, because I want. You can go ahead and hand them out. You'll look at this in later part of the presentation. And get lifesavers. Okay, so my presentation is about propolis. Now let me background of what I know about propolis. Propolis is a good thing. Propolis is what bees use. And are there new beginner beekeepers in the house today? Yes? Okay. You are not.
Always learning.
Okay. Tricky. Okay. I only had 30. So share. You have to share. You can't just have one. Your husbands and wives, I figured, just share. And then I can have it digitally. If you don't mind waiting to get it digitally, I can post it on my Facebook digitally. So, let me get the clicker. Okay, so propolis is what bees collect from what? You know? Tree resin. There is a mixture in this study that have been reading. There is a mixture of resin. It can come from all types of trees, all types of resin, and also I learned that ants, stingless bees. I can't remember the couple other ones that collect resin. Did y'all know that? Ants collect resin. There was a study done, and let me just mention this. In the Entomology Today, which was put out by Cynthia Hodges, Keith Delaplane, and Mary Rossi, it's called a short communication, and they talked about the textured hive interiors increase hive honeybees, propolis hoarding behavior. And then there was a really short article in the Entomology Today, and y'all can come pick this up. Those of y'all that didn't get a paper, you can come get one of these. But it is a study that talks about propolis. And so the main part of what I'm going to talk about on the propolis part of it is how honeybees use it and how we can help them to use more of it. So there was a study done by Marla Spivak, I always forget how her last name is pronounced, Michael Wilson, Renata Borba, and Michael Finstrom, Simone Finstrom. And you need to read this. If you're inclined to, after my talk, if you're inclined to look at what, or study how propolis is used in other insect colonies, as well as honeybees, you need to get this. It's a PDF, it's free, it's a download, and I probably already have it on my Facebook, but I'll repost it. It goes way in depth, and I'm not here to go in that deep dive into this study, because I needed to just bring out some points from the study to you. And so what started me on this journey at looking at propolis is that I realized my health. I needed something to help me feel better. I always was getting bronchitis. I always was sick from something, and some kind of infection, viral infection, and I was sneezing and coughing at a beekeeping meeting, and one of the beekeeping friends said, "You're a beekeeper, for goodness sake. Take your honey." So it just like, whoa, that was like this monumentous statement. You're a beekeeper, for goodness sake. Take your honey. So, and I had not even thought about that. So I started taking honey, I started eating the comb, I started eating bee pollen. One thing led to another, and this is like over a course of months and months and months. But my health started improving. I stopped getting sick. I noticed that I had improved respiratory system, and then started looking at propolis, and I found out about tinctures. Has anybody heard about tinctures? Yes? Okay. Oh, 2 people. Okay, so tinctures is a way to take a product. It doesn't have to be propolis, but it can be anything that is a solid or an herb, right? Yeah. And then you soak it in alcohol, and then the alcohol extracts the properties out. And so what you're left with after you strain the solids out, you're left with the alcohol and the extracted goodness of that, whatever it is you're soaking. So that's called a tincture. And a tincture is very concentrated medicine that we can take. So I'm a firm believer that God intended for us to keep bees here in America and everywhere. And I'm a firm believer that beekeepers should be the healthiest people on earth. So I'm challenging you after this presentation to take beekeeping seriously and start getting well, start helping yourself, let the bees help you be well. But also, just with this one aspect of it, propolis, you're going to see that bees can overcome a lot of things as a community and as individuals. So let's see what we have here. Find the right button. So, products of the hive. I talked about the fact that I take honey and pollen and royal jelly. Well, I never take royal jelly. I'm kind of not. That's not my thing to take royal jelly. But plus, it's very expensive and it's very hard to extract. So I'm not going to do that. Beeswax, propolis, bee bread, the bees themselves. I believe in apitherapy. I do have clients that I sting, and they have gotten better. So I'm really happy about that. And plus, I have used it on my own self. And plus, what I'm saying is how God intended it to be. And so, what is it? What is the propolis? It's plant resin. And the fun fact, I can't read it's what I told you, that other insects are using propolis. Now, I didn't go into depth into the study and found out how they used it, but it's about the same as how the bees use it. I mean, they're nesting, they use it in their nesting. So, how does it help honeybees? So, one of the things, have y'all ever heard of a propolis envelope? Oh, goody, you get to learn a new word today. So, or a term. The propolis envelope is how honeybees already do this on their own. You know, honeybees clean the cells with propolis. They sanitize everything because it's antimicrobial. And they clean it all. They clean the woodenware with it. They glue everything down with it, and that's called the propolis envelope. So, in the study, first before I do that, how does it help the honeybees? It serves as an indirect and direct effects that the propolis has on the immune system of the pathogens and the parasites. So what that means is that it's keeping the pathogens from directly affecting the honeybees and the health of that honeybee. They also, I already mentioned this, they glue everything down. It helps to waterproof and helps everything to keep from decaying. I mean, these are things that you know that it's in there, but you don't think about why it's in there or that it's it's in your way, you have to struggle to get the frames out. Do y'all struggle to get the frames out? Yes, and that's what that J hook is good for doing that. It's always good. Do y'all use, y'all team up maybe? Do you do it by yourself and you just have to struggle through the lifting, like what this picture has? That to me, the picture that's shown here, it's like, oh my gosh, it's propolis. Let me scrape it off because I need that. I need that for my health. And hopefully, I wouldn't do it during the winter. I'll let them have that. But in the summer, when I'm cleaning up, or in spring and I'm cleaning up, I'm going to scrape some off or some excess propolis and collect it. They don't commonly eat it. However, in this study, they state that it doesn't commonly eat it, but you can feed it back to them, and I'm not going to tell you to do that. I have experimented with it, and they didn't die, but I am not scientifically inclined, to tell you how I did it. I just put a few drops in the sugar syrup, and they ate it, and they liked it. But they didn't die. That's a good thing. And in that study, they also talk about that there's a need for more study for that, to find out the effects of feeding propolis tincture, or a tincture back to them. I was going to say something else about that. So anyway, how does it help the honeybees? Well, they glue everything down. And if they have a contaminated part of the hive, say it's bee pollen that is contaminated, it has pesticides, they'll propolis it over. If they have bee bread that's contaminated, they propolis it over. They can dig it out, carry it out the hive, but in some cases, it's gonna that propolis is gonna build a barrier from the contamination from getting to the rest of the hive. It also serves as a possible indirect effect that the propolis has on the. Oh, I already had that. What happened? Double slide. Okay, so let's get to this. Oh, there's another one. I must be going backwards. Wait a minute. Oh, this is where I want to be. All right. So you see the top graphic, the bee and the propolis. There again, there's frames that has propolis on it. It's exciting to look at because I want to scrape it off. And if anybody purchases anything from my table back there, you get a bucket that I have been collecting. I have buy coffee in these big jugs. And if you ever want to collect propolis, that's the best thing to put it in because it has a top, and you just take the top off, scrape the propolis, and put the propolis in there. Then you're collecting it, not throwing it. Where do you throw propolis when you're scraping it? Don't chunk it. Put it in the bucket or put it in your container. You don't even have to take my container. Just put it in something. Put it in a ball. Keep making a ball and it'll get big. So anyway, so that first row, you have, and it talks about relaxed investment in immunity. What that means is the height of, you don't want, you want it to be relaxed, you want it to be a low immunity. You don't want high immunity in the individual bee. Because if the bee has to work hard, or if its immune system has to work hard, then it's not going to work as efficient. This is where you need to perk up and listen, because this is where your bees, you want to make your bees, or help your bees to work harder. So if they are in a state of low immunity, they're working more efficiently. Increase detoxification and antioxidant levels. You want them to be in the perfect health, right? Just like we need to be in the perfect health. And increase lifespan. So if their bees only live 6 weeks, but if you can increase that, to more than 6 weeks, maybe 6 weeks and a half or whatever, but the main thing is that you want them to be healthy, and this is one way to do it, is to protect and help grow the propolis envelope. As a colony, how it affects the colony level, slide for that. So that's the individual, and then you want the colony level is reduce microbial load, decrease disease, increase productivity, population size, and survival. Don't we all want that? I want that. I want my bees to be healthy. And one way to do it is to help them build the propolis envelope. Okay, so what is the propolis envelope? So in the study that North Carolina put out just this week, talks about the propolis envelope that they recommend. There's two school of thoughts. One is, and what you're looking at is looking down at a hive. One is plain, and then just the plain wood, and that's the one that you want to have a propolis envelope. The other one has a queen excluder down in the against the wood, and what everybody knows what the queen excluder does. If you put it up, it makes them want to propolize it, right? So you can do it like that, but that decreases the bee space. And in this study that was done with Marla Spivak, is they just said it both ways. They said they just needed more study, but it was pretty definitive that both ways work. But in the North Carolina study said that they like the plain wood better. Now, there's 2 ways that you can do the propolis envelope. One is to let them do it. You can scratch the wood so that they're filling in those gaps, or you can make an ethyl solution, which is soaking the propolis in the ethyl. And so what then you're doing then is taking that liquid, that propolis liquid, and painting it on the inside. So you're giving them a head start in the propolis envelope. Does that make sense? Okay? So the other way is to put the queen excluder, the plastic one, down in there, nail it there, or wood or whatever, but they're going to propolize that. And so beginner beekeeper, not Brian. Where's the other one? Oh, never mind. So this one, I put this slide in here because I'm a believer in, this is a great way to study honeybees, and if you guys ever want to, put in for a grant request, this is a great study that you can do. Now, it's already been done by North Carolina, but if you can find a grant where you can use these specifications, you should do it, because it helps to understand more about honeybees. And also, the study can include, feeding the propolis back to the bees. And there's several ways in the papers that I handed out. There's several ways you can do it to make your propolis extraction. Okay, so the severity of AFB and chalk brood, Nosema serrana, varroa destructor, propolis extracts cause high mortality for the varroas. So, I mean, anytime you can get rid of more varroa mites, I'm all for that, aren't you? I mean, it's another chore. but it's a very significant chore if it helps build your bees up as a colony or as individual bees. And all of these other things that are listed here, you want to help increase the last bullet says increased hygienic behavior. Go for it. We need it. They need it. We need to let them do what they need to do, and so we are banking on what they do naturally. We just want them to do more of it. Does that make sense? No? Yes, makes sense. So this also talks about the extract can be used at different strengths, and that's what your papers that I gave out can tell you about, the 70%. And this is what's on the paper. And I'm not going to go through this. This is very technical, but here's what we're going to do. Shannon, come, my little assistant. So, is anybody feeling sick in here today? Anybody? Nobody's feeling sick? Does anybody feel like they're getting a cold? No? Everybody's well? Yes? Okay. Okay.
Does it contain alcohol?
No, it doesn't. I didn't bring that. But, so, Shannon, run get him a little cup that I already poured and put him a little bit of hot water. I'm going to give you something very delicious to drink. Does anybody want something else delicious to drink while we're going to do a demonstration? Yes, I need 2, Shannon. Oh, do them all. Do them all. Brian, I need you. While she's doing that, let's do this over there. So take this box. Uh-oh. Wait a minute. What about my camera? I want to stay in the camera. Here's my cup. Yeah, just come over here. Right there. Put the box on the floor, and then take the stuff and put it on the... Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to make a propolis tincture. And I didn't bring any ethyl, which is... Who gets these? Raise your hand if you had requested the drink. So, I'm going to explain what this is because we're going to segue into beekeepers being healthy. So this is a citrus tea, and it's made with honey, lemon, orange, ginger, and turmeric. And it's very delicious, wouldn't you say? Very good. Yeah. All right, so what I need for you to do is unscrew the grain alcohol. So for the human consumption, you want to use the grain alcohol. And this is one that I've already soaked, and I'm going to re-soak it. So this is propolis. So show them what it kind of looks like. I mean, you can see it's already been soaked, but you can soak propolis up to 3 times. You soak it 1 time, then so we're going to take everything out of this jar, and then take everything out of that jar, and then you're going to take everything out of the bags and put back in the glass. You want to do this in a glass jar. Never put it in plastic, because plastic has BPA, and it will leach into your tincture. And this is just wax. It's just beeswax. But what do the bees clean beeswax with? The cells. They clean it with propolis. So we're going to put everything in there. I don't always put the beeswax in, but I had a little bit, and I just thought I'd do the demonstration with the beeswax. But the rest of it's propolis, just 100% propolis. Now, if you have bees entombed in the propolis, put it in there. Okay, that's fine.
How many hives did that chunk of come
I
out?
didn't, yeah, I don't know. Probably one hive.
For 10 years?
No, just one visit to the hive. I scraped
Jeez.
some this spring. You have to be really disciplined if you're going to scrape propolis. Do you scrape propolis? Yes. Well, that came from a screen. Yeah, well, the screen inner cover, and I did not like getting that. That was too labor intensive. I like getting it from the sides or off the top of the frames. Any old comb that you've discarded has propolis through it. So as you see, I scraped it into a bucket, but I put it in the bag for safety. But yeah, go ahead and you can get all of that in there. It may be a solid. So what we've done is collected the propolis, and now, oh, there we go. And now we're going to put the propolis in the jar. Now, go ahead. So we're going to pretend that this is 30% of the jar, and really it's probably about half. But we're going to fill up the jar with grain alcohol. Now, don't drink grain alcohol. It's really small. But but here's the thing with that: when you're making it a tincture and you're going to use it as human consumption, and you're making it yourself. Now there are companies that make a propolis tincture. I have a lady, one of my naturopaths, that's a friend of mine. She makes her own propolis tincture, which is fine. I have Bee Apothecary. Have you ever heard of that? Bee Apothecary. I have their oil, propolis oil back there, and I'll let you taste that. The propolis, oh, there it is. Pass that around. Their product tastes way better than this because they go through another process to kind of lessen the strength of the grain alcohol. But I can smell that. Can't you smell it? Do you feel high just smelling it? Okay. So here's the thing. When I was going through my sickness and I decided to eat the honey, chew the comb, eat the bee pollen, and then I started experimenting with propolis tincture. It's strong. I can't just put it in my mouth. It burns. So, and it tastes bad. So what I do is put it in water, and then I just chug it, because if you just kick it back really fast, then you're fine. I think I have just get it done fast. And I'm gonna tell you what, my husband, he let me experiment on him. And he said the propolis, he has bad allergies. He said the propolis was the best thing he's ever had to take the allergy symptoms away. What does that say? Though the method one, yes, I cannot read that. My eyes are going.
Through method one.
Oh, through method one, the strongest propolis extract is obtained. So that's using the alcohol. Okay, so there's different things that you're going to use like the propolis oil. You're going to use that for cold sores. Maybe on the outer part. You can take it internally, and that's fine. If you just wanted to, who has the propolis oil? If you wanted to, you could take some right now, and all you would taste was the oil. But that's professionally made. Probably if you made it, probably you could taste more of the propolis. I've never done it with the propolis oil, but you can also soak it in water, and I would recommend that method. If you're soaking it in water, maybe heating up the water to help extract more of the propolis, that would be the method that I would recommend if you were going to experiment feeding back to the bees, to see if that helped them be more robust and healthy. So this is what I've been talking about, is that all of these things you want to do for the bees, but you also can do them for you. We're not always going to, your frames are not always going to be in the hive. You can also, when you take them out to, take them out of service, scrape them down. Take that propolis off. Take that old comb. Put it in a soak, because you can use that. Don't let things go into the trash. Use it, recycle it for you, so that you can be healthier. Or it depends on what your goal for using the propolis, for you or the bees. So wound care, you can use it in recipes, and I have another slide that shows you that with the lotions and potions. You can use it for a lot of things that help you for you to be more healthy. I'm really big on remedies, so that's what I've been doing for the past 20 years, is just trying to help my body recover from a lot of things that have come against it. Read that. So the propolis can be used in all facets for human consumption and health and diet. You can even make smoothies and put it in your smoothies. One lady says she puts it in her yogurt, but it's really chewy. It's not. I don't think that, but you can. That what? I know. There's one recipe that I did. I made some gelatin shots with the propolis tincture, and we ate it. Tom and I ate them, and it would start coloring our teeth. But it worked. We felt better. So, but maybe it was my method of, I probably should not have so much propolis in it. But anyway, that was. I haven't made that in a while. I've been meaning to make it, and I wish I had made it for you guys, so y'all could have teeth with propolis on it. Anyway, that what?
Do your teeth stick together?
No, but it just sticks to your teeth. But I don't care. I'll be talking to somebody and say, sorry, I got propolis in my teeth. Uh-oh. Okay, I don't know if you can read all that, but common cold, sore throat, this is very good with using propolis. You can help extinguish that sore throat with propolis. Genital herpes, yeast infection, parasites, rheumatoid arthritis. Anybody got rheumatoid arthritis? What? Yes. In various forms. Now, I have taken it and put it in my bean grinder, and then put it in a capsule, and then you can just ingest it. That's really the easiest way to do it. Does everybody know what I'm talking about? You have a bean grinder, you can have a food processor, you can grind it up into a fine powder, and then get some gelatin capsules that are empty, and then just put what you do is you mound it on on a clean spot or on a piece of paper or whatever, and then put your capsule down, and then let the powder go into the capsule, and then you can put the capsule together. Does that make sense? I wish I had thought about bringing that show you, but you can always follow me on Facebook. Hey, say, hey, beekeeper on duty, how did you tell me to make that? You know, I will tell you, but the capsule is really the easiest way to do it. If you have it, it's already dried out, put it in your food processor or bean grinder, and then you can get some gelatin capsules from, or you can order them offline, or you can get them from Earth Bear. And then all the cold sores and that other thing, that female infertility. So anyway, these things are, it's amazing what God planned for us and how He intended us to use honeybees, not only to help our food system or help our crops, but to help us feel better and to be healthy. So I'm challenging everybody in here to be healthier by using the honey products, not only the propolis, but use the honey products. You may say, forget about that. I'm not scraping that stuff off the frames or the hive. You can tell your friends to do it. There's somebody in this room that would like to do that. Does anybody in here like to do that? Yeah, I mean, it's a nuisance sometimes. There's times where you just need to scrape it off. So, what I have back on the table, I am a kombucha brewer. You know what kombucha is? No? Okay, so just really simply, it's fermented black tea. It's been around for thousands of years. It's helped people to be well. It's very low in calories. I make June tea, which is brewed with honey instead of cane sugar. So what I have found also is that brewing the kombucha or June tea, I can make fire cider with the plain June tea, and then I add vegetables, and and I soak it for 6 weeks, and it makes a medicine or an elixir. Everybody's heard of an elixir, right? So what happens when that June tea, and I'm going to make some tea, so when y'all are done, y'all can come have some. What happens is, it's like, if you feel like you're fixing to get a cold, or you're not feeling well, you're feeling down, drink the fire cider. You can do it in a little 4-ounce drink, or you can put it in a hot tea with honey and sip it. It's delicious. And you can put, I have tried it with whiskey, hot tea, and fire cider. It's pretty good. It's like really good. You don't even have to be sick to drink that. So, and I recommend the like Fireball or Jack Fire, or not Jack Fire. What's it called? Jack Daniel's Fire. Anyway, all right, I gotta go. Come visit me back there. Yes, thank you, Brian. You shake that. I don't do it every day because I'm busy, but you can, whenever you walk by, just give it a little shake. That helps to bring the alcohol to all the surfaces and gets the soap going better. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.